Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey, where Scott does his weekly check-in with nutrition coach Cheryl Nasso every week live on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notifier so you first know when new episodes come out. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey Special Edition. What the hell just happened? We're going to talk about kind of what happened over the last couple weeks and kind of see how nutrition can play a role and all of that kind of stuff. So I am still pretty much under the weather. I was just telling Cheryl, just to get down here to kind of hook everything up and get everything going, it takes a lot out of me. And this is probably the last show I'm going to do until I get some kind of relief or some answers or anything like that so we can move forward. But I want this to be interactive. I want you guys in the chat to ask questions. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. With that, I'll turn it over to Cheryl to kind of lead the discussion.
Yeah. Well, really, have you recapped anything from what's happened in terms of your hospital or anything? I'm sure you guys didn't have a roundtable this week, but I know you had a couple of other podcasts. So why don't you just start with what prompted you to go to the hospital?
Well, I think we go back to the last time we did a show when I went to my family doctor that day.
Yep, that was last week, last Tuesday.
So last Tuesday, I went to my family doctor. That is where he diagnosed me with a lung infection. But he didn't run any tests. He didn't. So through this whole thing, I got really pissed off at the way my family doctor has been treating me. And when I went into his office, like I was in full-blown asthma attack, could barely breathe. The only thing like they really said to me is, put on this mask because people are scared of you.
COVID. I'm dying, but I'm gonna put this mask on. I can't breathe, but
so I can't breathe. So put something over your mouth. It just was dumb. But anyway, he diagnosed me with that, threw some prescriptions at me, where one was a steroid, one was an antibiotic. And with that, I came home. We had our show. I had my breakdown. Things weren't going well. But then I started to feel a little bit better. The steroids or whatever did what they did. And then on that Friday, things started to slide. And pretty much went off a cliff by Saturday morning. And I could barely breathe. And my wife's like, we got to go to the hospital, to the ER. So we walked outside. I tried to get in the car, had a full-blown panic attack, which I've never had in my life. I could not get into my car. I talked for weeks about this gas that's been forming. So my stomach has distended out like inches at this point. Every time I tried to crunch into the car, it felt like it was shutting off my airway. So took some time to just kind of like relax for a second. We opened up the sunroof, opened up all the windows. I got back in the car. Thank God it was only 10 minutes. We got to the ER. And here in Ohio, we have ERs that are separate from the hospitals. So it'd be like an urgent care on steroids, if that makes sense. Like they have imaging, they have x-ray, they have all that stuff. So we go in. My wife tells him he's having a hard time breathing. They give me a wheelchair. They take me back. Within 10 minutes, 15 tests done. Like that fast. So from my family doctor who sucked balls at taking care of me to an ER who doesn't even know me doing like the greatest care I've ever seen. And they hooked me up to an EKG, diagnosed me with the AFib immediately, and then started running tests, chest X-ray, chest CT, stomach X-ray, stomach CT, blood work out the wazoo. And that's when, like, just incrementally, as we were sitting in the ER, more and more bad news is coming in because everything kind of led to other things going wrong. What was the chicken and what was the egg? I have no idea. But my heart rate was 150 to 165 beats a minute, and it was irregular. Then I had blood sugar of 380. Of course, I had high blood pressure because I was just having an anxiety attack. I'm still coughing, spitting up this stuff that I've been dealing with for 2 years that my family doctor kept putting off. So we go through a bunch of tests. They start putting me on meds. They're monitoring my heart. They're trying to get it to go back in rhythm by medicine. It's after hours, it's not going back. And they're like, we're going to need to transfer you to a full-blown hospital. My wife and I have to make the selection because we're kind of like in between all the three major hospitals associated with this ER. We decided to go to like the northern small town version, which was God's work because it was amazing. But they couldn't come get me. They couldn't get a transport to me till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So I sat in the ER by myself till 5 in the morning, waited for the ambo to come, got put in the ambo, got taken up to Delaware, Ohio, to Grady Memorial Hospital, where then I was admitted. And then they hooked me up to an EKG machine permanently for my stay. Lots of IVs, lots of needles, lots of pokes, way more tests. And I'll stop there and just take a pause if anybody has any questions.
Well, I think the main thing is heart condition. How has that been? Did you get any like feedback from the echo and everything? Is everything with your heart good?
Yeah, everything is normal with my heart other than the beat, the rhythm.
Okay. So there's been no strain there. The lungs are still, you were diagnosed with pneumonia too, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you have lung infection, pneumonia. They have you on antibiotics.
They did.
Okay. And they took you off the pred.
They took me off the pred.
Okay. You're still on antibiotics?
Today was my last one.
Okay. I'm looking at their, mostly people are just commenting on the fact that it's hard to find good doctors. It truly is. It's really hard to find doctors, and it's so important that we learn to be advocates for ourselves. In fact, in a lot of times what I do is I just had a woman come to me. It's like, it's so hard because they run basic lab tests. And if you're not sick, you're okay. They don't think about optimal. They wait until you're literally like you on your deathbed to be like, hey, we should probably do something. You know, your red flags were last year when the sinus stuff was getting that bad that you couldn't sleep. And then you had the sinus surgery and it still wasn't getting better. You know, and it's just like.
And this is when I was at my family doctor, he gave me the prescriptions and said, hey, if it gets worse, go to the ER. Like almost like, don't call me.
Yeah.
Just go to the ER.
Yeah, it's just not cool. So you have a new doctor, right?
Yeah, I have not met her yet.
Okay. All right. So let's kind of just like, so, we chatted a little bit on Wednesday. I wanted to check in on you. And since you've been home, obviously life is a little bit scary right now. I'm sure that like what you're dealing with, I mean, you probably feel at times like, oh my God, scared that you can't breathe. Obviously going to the gym is off the table. So, and like you just mentioned, walking down the stairs is hard. So, how are you getting around at home? Like, are you moving around at all? Like, are you trying to get up and move? Because that's also good for the pneumonia. Like, are you getting up and trying to sit up a little bit and move around?
So I'm doing the best that I can. Like I'm trying to take care of myself and take that off my wife.
Yeah.
Where like I fixed lunch today. Um, I've been doing my own breakfasts, trying to like do that on my own.
Mhm.
But it's been really difficult. Like it takes just so much out of me,
Yeah.
and the doctor does not want my heart rate
Right.
elevated
Right.
at all.
Yep. I gotcha. Okay. I know you mentioned that they have you on medication now, diabetes wise.
Yeah, they have me on a lot of medicine right now.
Yeah.
Um, so I learned through this endeavor that prednisone actually raises your blood sugar. And the doctor I saw in the ER said that your family doctor should have known that it's a risk if you were ever a diabetic to put someone on prednisone for extended periods of time.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, how long were you on the prednisone for?
So a long time. If you count this, so sinus surgery in October, then I was on prednisone for that for like 6 weeks.
Okay.
After that, then as things didn't heal the right way, and we were trying to get rid of the cough part of it, my sinus doctor put me on more prednisone.
Okay.
Then the family doctor puts me on more prednisone. So I was on prednisone drops and prednisone the pill.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. And elevated blood sugar, just so you know, also does weaken your immune system. So, like, that's also, there's a direct correlation. That's why diabetics are also more prone to getting sick. So, kind of like it doesn't matter the chicken or the egg, you've got a bunch of shit going on right now. So,
So the medications you asked about, um, metformin and insulin for the diabetes. So fast acting metformin for 2 meals a day, insulin for overnight. And before I left the hospital, I got the 380 down to 140. It's getting me off the prednisone.
yeah.
Um, and so then I have not been able to read my sugar because they prescribed me a monitor and it's been out of stock for 4 days.
It's crazy. So, you don't even know what your blood sugar is at.
No.
Um, with your blood sugar being that high, are you getting symptoms?
So it's just hard because this is the worst I've felt in my life.
Hmm.
So when I was a diabetic 14 years ago and got through that and past it, like I knew what those feelings were. I don't know what the feelings are now because I get heart flutters, I'm out of breath.
You'll get like headaches, kind of like blurred vision,
So
feeling.
I did have a little bit of blurred vision. I did not get the like overwhelming thirst that I
Yeah.
had before. And they asked me about that in the hospital. Did I get that? And I never did. Um, so the only real diabetic kind of like key was a little bit of blurred vision.
Okay. And how long you've been off the prednisone for is only for like a week, right?
Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. It should start to come down, I would think, pretty quickly once you're off of that. So hopefully we'll be able to get you back to regulated. That's why I'm surprised. My only surprise is that they did put you on the insulin and the metformin if it was a pred related thing because
So this is their reasoning. they needed it down fast
Yeah.
because the biggest risk with AFib is a stroke,
Right.
and diabetes contributes to the possibilities of a stroke.
Yeah.
So anything that was related to like my blood pressure was 127 over 70, and they have me on a blood pressure pill just to keep it, make sure it's down, because they have to remove the risk of stroke.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. All right. So questions. Kenneth has a question. What is metformin? I've heard my mom talk about it, but never heard. It is a drug for diabetes, but primarily. It does help regulate blood sugar. So
And there are two forms. There's a fast acting and a slow acting.
yeah.
But it's a pill. I was on it back in 2010. It's awful.
Yeah. So right now, obviously, our main concern is getting the lungs back up and running. On a scale of 1 to 10, do you feel like there's any improvement yet?
From Saturday, yes.
Okay, good. It's probably going to be a couple more weeks, I would think, before you're like back to 100%.
But I would put it at a Saturday was like a 2.
Yeah.
I'd be maybe 3.5, 4.
So my gut's telling me that you've had this lung infection for quite a while and it's just been dormant. Like you haven't had like symptoms bad enough. And that's kind of why you haven't been feeling great. But coupled with that, your blood sugar may have been elevated for a long time if you've been on the pred for a while. And that could also have been contributing to you being more susceptible to being sick. So it's like again, it's kind of these two things that we have to really look at. And what I want to really focus on is getting the blood sugar under control while you're healing and getting you feeling better, because nutritionally, I think that there are some things that we can do to strengthen your immune system and, obviously get the blood sugar down that we spoke a little bit about on Wednesday. And, help get you feeling better quicker. I don't know that you have food related issues with what's going on with your lungs. Like there are some people where I'm like, hey, you might have these food sensitivities with like dairy and it's causing you more sinus stuff. The reason I don't think that is because typically people that have things like that also experience like skin related issues, like eczema or like acne or other things like that is usually when there's like a dairy issue or severe gut issues with dairy. Like you have like things like that. I don't think you have any of that. I think this is truly you having a weakened immune system and your body's responding. And it could have been a little bit of a combination of the two. But the main thing is our last episode, you got pretty vulnerable with us. And I think that the real question is are you ready to like put yourself first a little bit in your life?
I am.
Yeah. Did you guys
Yeah,
have that talk?
we did. My wife and I have.
Yeah.
It's hard because my sister's in surgery right now. Like life doesn't stop because I'm sick. She's having cancer removed as we speak.
Yeah.
So that's going on right now. Um, we did get good news on mother-in-law that they're going to be able to do some stuff with medication,
Awesome.
as opposed to chemo. So that's good. But like that stuff keeps going on. But what's happened to this whole thing is, one, I think it was a wake up call for not just for me, but for my wife to see what this did to me. And so like she went out today and got fresh vegetables, some fresh fruit at lunch. We had a nice wrap for lunch together, and it was really good. And so she's ready to buy in to all this now too.
Good.
And I'm pissed off.
Mm.
Like, and maybe that's what I've needed a long time, is that chip on my shoulder to like, now all I want to do, all my only goal in my head is I want to get rid of all of these prescriptions.
Yep.
I want to check them off the box, throw them in the trash, and move on.
100% agree. I think that nutrition is something we need to address. I think you're doing a pretty good job this week. So I think that going forward, there's a couple of things that I really want to change about our check-ins, because I think that you've kind of been deflecting, really going all in on taking care of yourself. And so going forward, before every one of our calls, I want that check-in form filled out. I want to be able to take a look at that beforehand, and I want to pull it up on our lives and be able to say, hey, this is all the things that you're reporting this week. I want to pull up your food diary. I don't want to see any more blank spots. I've also going to take some responsibility for giving you more freedom in like not taking control of some of that stuff, because I trust you, but I want to be able to be like, hey, like, no, I want to see fiber here. I want to see these numbers here. And I know that there was a point that we talked about stuff and you were like, it's a little too overwhelming for me. I just want to focus on the protein. And we backed off. But I think that you need to get it all under control. It's time to like take this seriously, because I don't want to see you sick again. And I want to make sure that you are making the right kind of progress. And right now, we can't make gym progress. That's okay. We can get you healthy enough to get back to the gym. And when you're cleared to go back to the gym, we'll talk about that then. But, that's the main thing.
Agreed.
So a couple of things I mentioned to you on the call was really wanting more fibrous carbs, and you're adding in more fresh fruits and vegetables, what I love. But here's what I just want to kind of show you. And I'll pull it up. Because I want to be fully, hey, we're going to pull this share screen up here. Share screen. Do I want to share the whole entire screen? All right, guys, just don't judge the 5 million tabs I have open, because I have, ADHD and I have to have 5 million things open at all time. Okay, so this is really my concern. You see this number 12 here under fiber? Okay, this is typical for you. This day was a good day, 50 that day. Today you've only logged one meal, okay? But you tend to be very low on fiber. And when you're eating low calories, fiber is typically low because when you're eating low carbs. But when you're getting in enough carbohydrates, you want to make sure that fiber count is up. So if you're eating, let's call it 167 carbs, but you're only getting 14 grams of fiber, we want to really increase that. And so what I really want you focusing on right now is that whenever you're picking up any grain products, you're looking for complex carbohydrates. You're looking for high fiber carbs, no white products, because that's going to get more, it's going to bring more good gut bacteria into the gut, which can help with the immune system. It's going to help with digestion. It's going to help with everything. It's going to help with your blood sugar. So we've really got to get the fibrous carbs in, and the fruits and vegetables are also a part of it as well. Right now I know that you're not moving a whole bunch. So, calorically, we might end up changing things. So I do want you getting back to weighing in, just so I can see what's going on with your weight. This way we can kind of say, all right, here's where you're at. Calorically, we might have to change some things a little bit, because it's also, when it comes to blood sugar, it's not just carbohydrates, it's calories. And I want to talk about that for people to understand. But getting your calories where they need to be for you to obviously still see some results is also important. I like that you're hydrating. So making sure that you're getting some electrolytes in throughout your day. If you're getting in fruits and vegetables, that's going to be good. But that's going to be your main focus right now, is really getting the diet dialed in. Still be flexible. You still go out for date night. You still do those things. But the majority of your food, we really got to be focusing on that stuff.
And that's what we're trying to do. From the time we got back to the hospital, we're cycling through the grains we had to the grains we're getting, and doing all that kind of stuff. We're getting a winter weather emergency tonight. Ugh. 2 to 4 inches of snow. So we got all that stuff today to prep for the weekend, because we're probably going to be snowed in
Oof.
a little bit. And like I really made a conscious effort yesterday to get like an apple in, to get some stuff, to get some good fiber in.
Mhm.
Today I had the Jimmy Dean's light sandwich because it was a whole wheat muffin. And I had some oatmeal today to try to up that. We had a wrap for lunch with vegetables throughout it. So I'm really trying.
Yeah, you didn't log your lunch yet, so I don't know what that was looking like. So, but
Yeah.
I know that your breakfast so far, let me just see your breakfast was. It's weird because it's showing up on, yeah, your breakfast had 5 grams of fiber. So still not a whole bunch, but it's still better than nothing, you know. And I think if you're lunch, depending on what kind of wrap you had for lunch, we're going to slowly start to work on that. You know, like that's the stuff that you can kind of work on.
So like, does oatmeal add any fiber at all?
Yeah, oatmeal's got good fiber in it. Yep. Look at the package. And I'll send you my high fiber food list again. But
I
actually,
looked at it
yeah,
yesterday.
there's also like different brands too. But like that's just, you want to look for all of those fiber sources. Jeff asked about your protein source. Yes. He had the Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwich. It wasn't a whole bunch of protein, but it was still a relatively balanced meal. You had, 22 grams of protein this morning. So you're probably going to be playing a little bit of catch up on protein. So, but yeah. So I think that the main thing is getting you back to some structure, keeping your stress levels down. So stress also raises your blood sugar, by the way, people. So the people that focus on diet, stress, and cortisol levels jack up your blood sugar as well. So we want to make sure we're doing that. Movement wise, I think that for you this week, because you really can't work out, I think that, well, you can't get your heart rate up. I think that every time you eat, also after you eat, like either doing like a 10-minute, like very easy, just walking around your house. You could even pedal easy on your bike at a walking pace. Like you can do that as well. Like just something to get some blood flow into your body. And then I think the other thing is mobility. You don't want to get tight hips and tight all these things. So even though you can't work out right now, those are things that you can be doing. So I think that you can kind of, as you're starting to feel a little bit better, just making sure that you're stretching a little bit, not getting too tight, sitting all day, and all that kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the hardest part right now is that gas pushing on my stomach, and it's pushing on my excess skin.
Yeah.
It's like a weird dynamic I have going on. And every time I stand up, like it is burp city. To just kind of get comfortable. And then so yeah, the mobility, I need to try that and just see if it'll help.
What are they saying, that the burping is just from the pressure and from the lungs?
There's a scope ordered already for my esophagus and stomach. I just haven't had it yet.
Okay. Let me just take a look at something. Is the burping and stuff worse at certain times of the day?
Nah.
Just all throughout the day?
Yep.
Taking a look at things. How much water are you drinking?
Well, we're transparent on the show.
Yeah.
If I go to the bathroom and have a bowel movement, it's better.
Okay.
And it's a relief for a few hours.
All right. How much water are you drinking a day?
Quite a bit.
Like
I've pretty much stopped drinking anything but.
But it doesn't matter. You're drinking hydrating. You're drinking at least 100 ounces of fluid.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's give it a couple of days and seeing. I'm hoping that maybe with the lung infection getting better, but I'm just wondering if there's not something going on with your stomach. Are you still taking any supplements?
No, I went off those with all the prescriptions just till I can get regulated.
Yeah. Because I am a little bit, the burping stuff has got me a little puzzled because your food, nothing that what you're eating is like really like sticking out to me as like that's what's causing it. That's why I was wondering if maybe it's a reaction from what's going on with the lung, because they kind of went hand in hand. That started to get bad when you started to get sick. So I'm just wondering if it might just be from that, you know, the lung infection.
So what I have outstanding is I have a scope on my throat and stomach coming. I have cardiology on Monday to have another EKG and to see what the next steps are for the heart. And then new family doctor next Friday.
Okay. And I know you mentioned full transparency. Are you going to the bathroom more than normal?
No,
Okay.
less than normal.
Less than normal. Okay. Let's really try and push the fiber up. Let's see if that doesn't help a little bit. The other thing, you know what? Actually,
I do have a fiber supplement.
no, I don't
Should
want
I
you to take
do
the
that?
fiber supplement.
No.
Nope. You know what I want you to do this week? For the gut, let's go ahead and take down the fat intake. So you've been pretty high on fat. I want you utilizing the numbers that I have in Trainer Eyes: 185 protein, 185 carbs, and 65 fat. I don't want you going over 70 fat this week. And I want to see if that helps with the gut.
Okay.
So, because sometimes you might be having a gall related issue, a gallbladder related issue. And let's just see if there's not something going on with that. So let's lower the fat intake this week, like starting today.
They did mention that
Yep.
at some point during the weekend or when I was in the hospital about my gallbladder.
Well, see, maybe I should just become a physician. I mean, go back to school and be a doctor. No, let's take the fat intake down, because your fat intake has been a little bit high. Let's try and get it to around like 60 to 70. Don't go over 70, and see if that doesn't help with the gut stuff.
So Jay Birch asks, are you gulping air in an effort to breathe? I'm not, thank goodness. Thank goodness the sinuses have cleared. Like I can breathe freely through my nose. It is much easier to breathe through my nose now than it is in my mouth.
That's good. Get you doing some nasal breathing exercises when you get back in the gym. So
Carolyn giving you props.
yeah. I could be a doctor, Dr. Cheryl, Dr. Nasso. That sounds like a scary movie doctor's name, like like Dr. Giggles, Dr. Nasso. I don't know. But yeah, no, I think that let's lower your fat intake and up the fiber and obviously protein. How is your sleep, Wad Zombie?
So my sleep, when I sleep, it's deeper now than it's been in years. But then I'll like wake up, have to clear my throat, do some stuff, and then my mind is playing awful tricks on me. And I get some anxiety, which I have never had. So, like last night, this is a great example of how my nights go. Went to bed at 10, woke up at 2:30, had to clear my throat, had to pee, do that kind of stuff. I come to go back to bed, and then I can hear every little wheeze in my throat, and it starts freaking me out. And then I get to a point where I feel like I can't breathe, and so I get up and then I go downstairs and I sleep sitting up.
Yeah. When do you go back to work?
I went back today.
Okay. How'd that go?
Okay. It's a holiday weekend for us. So there was nobody in the office. It was like the perfect day to go back.
President's Day weekend, right?
Yep.
Okay. Wad Zombie
So,
about CPAP machine.
I've never tried a CPAP machine. I've never been diagnosed with sleep apnea.
Yeah.
But it has been mentioned this week. And so when I get to my new family doctor, that might be something that is ordered, a sleep test.
All right. Yeah, but see, you don't report like waking up feeling tired or groggy. You always seem to sleep well. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you've never really been like,
Yeah.
oh, my sleep sucks. But you
I will
know,
tell you this. I'm having this weird side effect where when I close my eyes, I get these visions of what I think my surroundings should be, and I can like see it brushed out, and it is the weirdest thing ever. Never had that happen before. Not on a psychedelic. I know Wad Zombie's coming in with that. Um, but it's and then what it does is it makes me nod off because I want to stay to see the painting finished.
that's crazy. You're going crazy, Scott. I'm just kidding.
And and what's funny is I've had a lot of people from around the world DM me that they have the same thing I have. And they all talk about that until it's fixed, I will nod off.
Oh,
Like it is just you're so tired. It just but I don't I'm afraid to ask them, did you have visions of things before you nodded off?
were you seeing things? Were you like going crazy? No. No, I feel like this was a little bit of the wake up call you needed. So I feel like hopefully we'll be able to get you in the clear. When is your first doctor's visit with your new doctor?
Next Friday.
Okay, so we have about a week.
Yeah.
So hopefully by
And,
then you'll be feeling a little bit better.
and then again, the EKG cardiology is Monday.
Okay. Well, hopefully I would ask the cardiologist just like, are you cleared for any movement yet? You know, how mentally how are you feeling right now about all this?
For me to even think about doing any kind of major movement, I don't even know how I would do it.
Yeah.
Like the way I feel right now,
I'm not
that
talking
seems
about major movement. I'm talking about walking. I'm talking about moving a
that's what I'm
little bit.
talking about.
That's
I'm
what I'm
talking
saying.
about like
Yeah,
walking out to the get the mail about wrecks me.
agreed. I'm sure it does. But what I want to make sure of is that when you're cleared for it, that you're doing it because it's not going to feel good when you first start doing it again. And I get it. You don't want to do it before the doctor says to, but you don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, it's going to really suck. It's going to really suck for the first couple of days. We just want to make sure you're cleared for it first.
Do I
What?
wear a smartwatch? So yes, I have one. But I lost the charger at Legends. So I need to order a new charger.
Don't you have a Whoop strap?
No,
You got rid of it?
long time ago.
Hmm. Well, that would track your sleep too.
I actually have a watch.
So you just want to wear your watch instead.
Yeah, it tracks sleep.
Yeah.
It does everything the Whoop did, and I didn't have to pay monthly.
I don't think my Apple Watch tracks my sleep as good as my Whoop strap does.
I don't have an Apple Watch.
What kind of watch did you have?
It's like a GPS. It's called Asunto.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like my Apple Watch tells me that I sleep like a champ, but my Whoop tells me when I sleep like shit, and my Whoop is usually right because I can feel the difference. So
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, I feel
So
like
yeah, it's just like a Garmin, but it's
Garmin's are good. Yeah.
but it's this brand.
Okay. Yeah. I don't watch nothing tracking anything I do. I don't watch nothing tracking anything. Yeah, Apple Watch can tell the time at least. That's pretty much all I use my Apple Watch for. That and my steps. I really don't even use it for anything else. It's just kind of the reason I got it was when I first got my Apple Watch, I was looking for, I had a Garmin, and the reason I didn't get another Garmin was because the battery kept dying so quickly. Like it was like my third one, and it would last for like a year. And then all of a sudden, the Garmin battery would start dying like half a day. So when I was getting a new watch, the reason I got the Apple Watch, I was like, oh, cool. Like I can use this for my music. I don't have to use my phone. So like when I go on a run, I don't have to use it. But they get you because you only can do that if you buy the freaking data plan. And I'm like, I'm not paying an extra $15 a month for a data plan for my phone, for my watch. Come on, really? So I didn't ever get it.
So I had an Apple Watch years ago when I traveled the state for my job. And I did it because so I could see a text message, see if it was important or not
Yeah.
without pulling my phone out. But then I realized like I was becoming rude. Like I'd be talking to somebody and look down at my watch rather than and pay attention to the watch rather than the person I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is dumb. And I just got rid of it.
I don't even look at my text messages on my watch, like ever. The only time I really did was when I was at Wadapalooza because my freaking phone was dying. And I'm like, stop opening your phone. It's just making it worse. And that's when I was using my watch more than anything.
So, Kenneth, what happened was as I was in the hospital and the care was so good, I cannot say enough about the staff at this hospital in Delaware. It was awesome. I said to them, I don't trust my doctor anymore. I don't want my stuff sent to him, but I don't know what to do because I don't know how to find a new one while I'm laid up in bed. So they set me up with a counselor at the hospital. They got me a new doctor, and I am meeting with her next Friday for the first time. So I will have a brand new family practitioner next Friday.
Good stuff. And we'll be on again for Tuesday, right? You want to do it again Tuesday?
Again, I think this is my last show until I can get more confident going up and down the stairs.
So we're not doing a show next Tuesday.
Well, we may if I feel better after the cardiologist.
Okay. Regardless, I want to make sure we check in somehow with everybody. So if it's me, then I'll do it just so that they can kind of see your check-in, what you've reported, and that you're being honest with everything and that you're taking care of yourself. Because I want that for you. So
Yeah, I have not rescheduled any of my shows until I start feeling better.
okay. Well, regardless, I'll make sure there's an update on Tuesday, even if it's me doing a solo something with your check-in, but we'll do something, or if we have to wait till next Friday after your doctor's appointment that day, if that would be a better day, you think, but let's make sure we keep everybody updated and in the loop. So,
Okay.
all righty.
Sounds good. And you like my new Chicago Bears?
I see that. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at your hat. I'm like, he's just all sportsed out today.
My wife, Valentine's gift.
It's nice. Nice. Awesome. I think I'm going to go over to, there's a little Italian festival here today. I might go over and take a look over there. All the Italian stuff is going on.
You have fun in that Florida weather.
It's very nice here today. It's beautiful out. I'm not even going to lie. I was outside a little while ago and I'm like, oh, it's a perfect day to be outside.
Yeah. I'll be in my snow globe in Ohio.
In your snow dungeon, in your igloo. So,
all right, guys. Well, if you have any questions for what's going on or anything that we talked about today, make sure to DM Cheryl or myself. I will keep you up to date as much as possible. And I want to thank from the bottom of my heart every single one of you that has reached out to me through DM, through comments, through text. Like it's overwhelming the outpouring of love that I've felt and received during this week. There's times where you wonder, like, if you're making an impact with anything that you do. Like, I got a freaking card from CrossFit wishing me well, and that they're in my corner. I could not believe it. Like, that just blew me away. But the people that have gone through this, that are sharing their stories with me, are helping so much. And what to expect, what's going on. The prayers that everybody's sending me are awesome. I love you all. I love this community, and I can't wait to be back stronger and better than ever to hang out with you guys for a long time going forward as I get healthy. So with that, thank you a bunch. Love you all. And we will see you next time on the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey.